Hi, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And we are live again. We are FinOp Consulting Group coming to you with another wonderful panelist from our upcoming town hall meeting. We are so happy to have Candice Cox. She is the founder and executive director of KHAOS Inc. And you all, she's brilliant. I'm not just saying this because she my boo. I'm saying this because she is brilliant. I was just telling her before we came on how just some of her concepts have already increased me, and that's just hearing them in passing. Like I've never really sat under her, but she's worked closely with the program that I work with at the Salvation Army, and just those tools, life changing, life changing. So without further ado, I want to introduce my friend, Miss Candice Cox. Hi, Candice, and thank you for joining us.
Great day. Thank you for having me.
I love it. I love your great day intros to the text. You be smiling like, if I wasn't feeling good already, I feel good now. Great day.
What's up? Great day. Yes.
Great day. We look, we about that. Candice, tell us a little about yourself.
So I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I specialize in intergenerational and environmental trauma, basically the things that have happened throughout the lineage of our lives and, our families and the things that we carry on that may be toxic or traumatic with us. And then the things that happen in our environments that have been toxic or traumatic with us. Teaching individuals how to go from regular KHAOS, KHAOS, where we can't help acting out severely, to our KHAOS, which is KHAOS, where we keep healing and overcoming struggles.
Nice. What made you think of how did you conceptualize KHAOS?
So I am a KHAOS kid. Definitely. I used to be a CHAOS KHAOS kid, and now I'm a KHAOS KHAOS kid. But the regular KHAOS kid, she still sits Indian style back there. But just different things that I'm a kid that grew up with teen parents, and I had some struggles when I was in undergrad where I was fighting and I almost got kicked out of school. And so I had to make a decision on if I wanted to, come home and drop fries at the rallies on Jefferson, or if I wanted to do something different with my life. And, I was in an anger management course at school that they put me in, and it wasn't culturally competent. So I had to figure out, like, what does this look like? So I was working with kids at the Boys and Girls Club, and I started teaching them certain things. And, that was the beginning of the KHAOS mindset. I just didn't name it. And then once I moved to Arkansas in 2008, and I started a step team. And so when I started a step team with the kids down there, I used to call it Organized KHAOS, Kids Healing and Overcoming Stressors. And so but I was working with the kids, and I was like, wait a minute, I can't keep sending y'all into the same environments thinking that something's going to be different. And so, when I started meeting with the parents and recognizing that this stuff was generational. And so I'm like, what? We need to keep healing and overcoming struggles. And so that's where it came from.
Oh, nice. Wonderful. Look at you. I would say wonderful story, but wonderful journey to arriving there. So how do you arrive there? You saw yourself acting out and acting up. What is that thing in us that makes us make that hard change, that paradigm shift?
It's that really getting to a point where recognizing that this isn't my life, and that's where I had to get to, and so we have a skill called raw, and I had to get raw with myself. I had to realize I wasn't happy and I wasn't balanced, and I had to admit what my role was in that. And that's the biggest thing, is that we can always blame others, but we can't change others. We can only change ourselves and how we react to the things we do. And so I had to admit what my role was in my life, and then I had to do the work, to unlearn the things that I thought were right. And so I can relearn a new way of doing things. So yeah, just understanding that I wasn't happy where I was. So some had to shake.
So something had to shake. But that's, look, if they would say, but baby, that's more than a notion, honey. Creating that discipline, and then I call it, your discipline has to have a flexible discipline. Another discipline on top of that that's willing to break the process down to say, well, I tried this to be better, but it's not working. So let me go back and see if I can make an adjustment here or there, that
Mm-hmm.
flexible discipline. But you
Yes,
definitely have to have the
definitely.
discipline to move forward. And so
Yes.
because I'm sure in that move forward, there was some suffering there. There was some
Oh
pain, there
yeah.
was some hurt. How do you handle that pain and disappointment and that hurt while still trying to gather yourself and move forward?
And so, so the chaos mindset is a phrase, and it's to live a life of chaos. You must be willing to break free from your barriers, get raw with your issues, reset your mind, and be patient with you. And so, the biggest thing is that whole break free part,
Mm,
because I am a kid that, my mother was 16, my father was 17, my dad wasn't in my life, so I'm considered what you call a fatherless daughter, all of that.
mm,
And so, just growing through those things. My mother was a child of trauma. So it's like,
mm,
all of those things and, having to really understand that, broken parents raise broken babies. And that's just the realest
mhm,
thing ever. Not on purpose, but if I'm broken, I can only give you what I got to give. So learning how to forgive people, starting with my parents and then other people in my life for not being who I wanted or needed them to be when I needed them to be something in my life.
mm,
And then getting to a point where I could release them from the unrealistic expectations I held them to. And I was
mm,
actually able to see them for who and what they were and not for what I wanted them to be. And so, that was really big and really, it was a lot that I had to do to kind of work through that. But then, getting to the point to embracing my story, like your story is
mhm,
yours, good, fast,
mhm,
and so embracing it for what it was, what it is, and what it could be with love and compassion, so that I was able to elevate to a higher level of living. As long as I allowed those things to hold me down, they were heavy, and
mhm,
you can't fly if you held down, So I had
mhm.
to work through those things so that I could soar.
That's good. We like to say at FinOp, you can't move forward if your wheel doesn't have balance. You could
And
try to ride on a flat tire. You'll get somewhere. You won't get anywhere fast and you won't get
Mhm.
anywhere far.
No, not at all. And see, and
Yeah.
I say that our bodies are like our bodies are like cars. And so it's
Mhm,
like your brain is a transmission. Your body can look real good. You can have the body of your car looking real good, have it painted and have your wheels and everything looking nice. But then your transmission slipping and you ain't going nowhere. So make
yeah. Not transmission slipping.
yes,
I love
transmission
it.
slipping, you ain't going nowhere. But you look good.
Listen, honey, look better than the rest of them. Look,
Yes, yes,
you can hide it, but it creates this false sense of self.
yes.
You have this false. A lot of us, I feel, we pave our journeys with false information.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to be true to ourselves, to who we are, to how we're really feeling, to what we're really thinking. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, and then we have children,
Yeah.
and so then they're raised by neurotic parents or parents with character disorder, or they're dysfunctional, and
Mm-hmm.
then they become these dysfunctional adults,
That's what happens. Yeah.
and
And
it's
it's
crazy.
It is, and it's like, we really have to look at it. That's the reason why I talk about all the time. Where's the root?
Yeah.
Where's the root? We come into this world as blank slates. We're empty slates, and so we are a compilation of the situations that we've been through, the people that we've met, the things that we've endured. And so it's
Yeah.
like, where did that come from? Like oftentimes I hear people say, "Well, I got an attitude problem." Well, you didn't come into this world. You wasn't born like, wah. That wasn't how
Mhm.
you came. So when did it develop? What happened to you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing we have to continuously ask ourselves, what happened to us? And then, recognizing that we are our parents' children, but we don't have to be our parents' choices. And so just because our
Mm.
parents raised us a certain way and certain things happen, we
Mhm.
can unlearn the things that we were taught were right and relearn new ways of doing things. So we can be
Mhm.
empowered in the fact that we got the ability to grow.
And we call that making that second nature.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
I use an example all the time. It's natural to go to the bathroom all over yourself, right?
Hmm.
We're raised to just use the bathroom, but then you're potty trained,
Yeah.
so you're taught to take a natural thing and do something that would be considered unnatural for what's better. So then that unnatural thing becomes second nature. And I
Yep.
feel that that's so important to create or to build upon these good habits so
Yeah.
that you're not fall into what is naturally habitual for you to fall into,
Yes,
but
yes,
create new processes so that it could become second nature to you,
yes,
and
yes.
then you're not, then you keep healing, and instead of being can't help acting out severely.
Yes, 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 definitely. You create that new normal, and that's the
Yeah.
thing, we have to understand that there's more than one way to get somewhere. And so we can't be so married to our idea of what right is that we
Mm-hmm.
are able to explore something new.
Yeah, especially when you created your journey out of denial. So it's a bunch of shortcuts and dead ends that,
Uh-huh. A
so
whole bunch
then
of
you're trying to live in your truth, and
yes, yes.
you run
I
around
say
in circles.
yes. I say life is a journey. You have to feel FEEL, feel your way through it, and and you have to grow through it. You don't just go through life; you grow through life, and that's real.
That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
That is very real. Okay, so I one of the notes that I have is that you often use acronyms in your
Mhm.
process. How
Yes.
have you found that? Because I know how it's helped me, but I'm going to let you say it since this is we talking to you, not to me. But how has it enhanced your process? How do you see it being beneficial to others? And is that your thing? Like acronyms are your thing?
Yeah, like I love acronyms always, and it's like, I learned it when I was in college actually, because I'm sitting in college and I'm sitting in one of my classes where we're talking about diagnosing, and I found out right there that I had ADHD. I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute, what happens if you get like 5 out of 7 of them? What's that? And so that helped me understand that my brain is always going. And so because of that, I take in a lot of information, and I'm like, okay, so how do you have a lot of information in something small? And I'm like, in an acronym, so it's like, KHAOS, keep healing and overcoming struggles, so it's like I can have a small word and I can use that as something so much bigger, and it can remind me to do something different. Like we got reset. Remember, every situation encourages thought. So it's like, you have those words, and then it takes you somewhere else. So that's what I love about them.
I do too. It's a positive reinforcement for me. Like, you're thinking about something, and then again you get your acronym in the mix. Remember, every situation encourages thoughts. So it's like, okay, breathe. Let's think through
Mhm.
this. Let's not
Yeah.
be. We tend to distract ourselves when we
Mhm.
don't want to face
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah, that's
So yeah,
avoidance 101, and we have to stop doing that,
yes,
because you can run from it all day, but when you lie to yourself, that's it. You can lie to the world all day, but when you lie to yourself, what you tell yourself is your truth. And so you don't want to be operating off of false things. It's not fair to you.
it's not. So I was watching Ayala.
Mhm.
So she was fixing this girl, this young lady's life, and she had them look in a mirror that was distorted,
Yeah.
and the girl looked at, when the thing said, "What do you see?" She was like, "I see a strong woman. I see this." So I asked her, "You didn't see the distorted figure looking back
Right.
at you? You didn't see this?" A lot of times we do. We want to see ourselves for who we think we are.
And that's the biggest thing, and not for
It
who we
is,
actually
and not
are.
for who we
Hmm.
actually are. Coming to terms with some of the things in us so that we can be our best selves, so we can live in our truth. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
It
And it's
sounded,
so much more peaceful to live in your truth, because you don't have to worry about what you done told this person or what you did here. Like, no, I'm me at all times. I tell, people all the time, get so cool with you that you know everything about you. So can't nobody tell you nothing new about yourself. Like, that's
yes,
just real. It's
yes,
real.
yes,
Absolutely. Like, goods, bads,
yes.
and good. Get comfortable with yourself.
Get comfortable with you. And I feel like that's, unfortunately, you would think that that's something that we do naturally as adults, but
Mm,
we tend to not.
boy.
We just,
Yeah,
we avoid it, and as if it's not creating, or as if it's not showing up in other areas. And so I
right.
like to tell people all the time, you think I can't see you, but I see you.
Yeah, and see, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I see you, and I always say, I see you here versus I see you here. Because if
Yeah,
I see you with my eyes, I see you through my frame of reference. I see
yeah,
you, and I,
yeah,
I see you for who you are, and not for who you want the world to think that you are. I see you, and,
yeah.
and it's cool. It's okay. Be you.
Yes,
Everybody else is
yes.
taken.
Yeah, girl, that everybody else is taking. Listen, I don't think I could be anybody else if I wanted to. Pray for me.
I ain't got it in me. Like I can't do nothing but me. That's all I got.
It's too much. It's too much, and it is. Living in your truth is liberating, but it's not easy. It's
Oh
definitely a balancing act. So yeah.
yes, it
Okay,
is.
well, so we are gearing up for our town hall, and our main theme for this town hall is keeping it together, the community rather, keeping it
Mm-hmm.
together even while we're apart. And we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about keeping it together mentally as we go through or enter into this holiday season. Uh, and I'm not saying necessarily for people who celebrate Christmas or not, Thanksgiving or not, but this is the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first holiday season during this pandemic.
Yeah.
So you already deal with those who deal with feeling alone or, depression, not enough, not adequate
Mhm.
during this time of the year. Have you seen a change or any type of increase in your clientele since?
Yeah, we've had an increase with people dealing with anxiety, people dealing with
Mm,
just adjusting, a lot with depression. A lot because of the isolation. A lot of it. When we think about anxiety of what's going to happen, people are grieving. And I talk a
mhm,
lot about grief because you don't just grieve death. Change. You have to grieve the loss of that. And
mhm,
so, that's a lot of the flux that we've had, with our clients, and just really being able to help them create a new normal, and understand that it's absolutely okay for you to have the feelings that you feel, because we are all going through this. We no one knows what's happening right now. So that loss
mhm,
of control, that anxiety you feel as a result of you not having control, that's absolutely normal. But
mm.
now to figure out, okay, now let's put new patterns into place. Let's put new things into place, to combat these feelings that we have, but sit in them. We
Mm.
gotta be okay with sitting in them feelings, so that literally you can feel your way through them.
So, what are some things maybe you would recommend, some tools, some exercises as far as coping with grief, maybe some coping mechanism, coping in a healthy way, understanding that it's inevitable, that we're
You
all
know,
going to deal with it?
well, one is, journaling. That's important. It's really important for us to journal. Get your thoughts out. Get it from your head. Get it from your head. Write it out. Type it out in your phone if you need to. Just don't keep it rummaging in your head. Another one I say is reset. Remember, every situation encourages thought. Ask yourself, am I tripping off of something in the past? Am I worried about something in the future? Or am I present in the presence of what's happening right now?
Mm.
Because that's very important. Because if you think about it, we spend most of our time in the past or in the future, and we don't trip off the present until it's in the past.
Yeah.
you know and so that's where a lot of our anxiety comes from.
Mhm.
So we have to think about that, starting to talk to people, talk to
Mm.
other people. Don't just keep yourself isolated. It's okay. Yeah, you might not be able to go and hang out like you used to, but we got technology is real. You better start duoing people and hanging out with people, and doing the FaceTimes and stuff like that. Whatever you need to build a connection, to have that social interaction in this moment, do what you need to do, and it's okay. But also tap out from
Mm.
some, because we so connected to CNN, we so connected to the news and all these different things, and it makes us anxious.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Tap out to what's happening around you, and it's absolutely okay for you to tap into you. Take you a bubble bath, read you a book, go take you a walk, do things for you. Build that emotional inventory for yourself.
Nice. I love it. I love that. And this was the perfect, really, segue to my miscellaneous question. But we like to make this our last question. So, if it was up to me, honey, we'll still be talking. But we don't want to hold everybody. We want to give them more to. It's almost like a cliffhanger for our town hall, because we're going to have this type of conversation. But you said that feel free to tap out, read a book. What is your favorite book? Or what's a book you would recommend? Or what are you reading now?
Ooh, right now, a book that I would recommend is called The Deepest Well, and it's by
Mm,
Dr. Nadine Burke Harris. And so
mm,
is she's an African American, the first African American Surgeon General for California. And she really works on adverse childhood experiences and, what are not only the psychological, but the physiological, what's the physical things that can happen to you if you have these 10 things that have happened to you throughout your life and how they change the trajectory of your life. And I think that that's very important for us to read. You can do it on Audible or you can read it. We need to really be aware of what happened to us and how those things changed us, because we thinking that as adults that we just fine. And no, we were broken when we were little. And so, our brains and our brains and bodies changed. And so so that changed the trajectory of how we continue to grow. And so we need to go back and see what happened so that we can be able to learn those things and change those things. So yes.
Nice. I really feel like reading, you know how they say it's fundamental, but it is.
Yeah.
It is. I look at people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett who still avidly read. Why? Why would they avidly read and they're billionaires? Well, because they're ever learning.
Yes.
And it's something that I feel, how do I say, I don't want to say personal about, but, we are a literacy or education company, but I feel passionate. That's what I want to say about encouraging us to read. That's why I like to ask our guests for reading recommendations, even if it's just 10 minutes a day. I have dedicated 10 minutes a day to reading every day. Yes. Now, you already know it start getting good. So I look up, it's been a half hour, like, oh Lord.
Right, but it's okay to get lost in the word. Yeah, it's absolutely okay. That's how we learn. That's how we learn. If you don't read or listen to podcasts or take any new information in, then you only stuck with what you got, and the world is ever changing. And that, so it's like you owe it to yourself to learn.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the best gift we could give ourselves is increasing our knowledge. Candice, I love you, child. I don't know how I don't know how unprofessional it is for me to say it like that, but you already know. I can only be me. Everyone else is taken. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Before we go, I want to make one quick announcement, and then I want to ask you, how can we get in touch with you? Are you taking new clients? Is this a closed thing, or do you offer, virtual sessions? We want to get that information from you. But before we do that, I want to make one more announcement. Please, you all, join us. If you want to hear more from Candice and our other wonderful panelists, join us November the 21st from 10 a.m. until noon when we have this type of discussion. Again, the community, and wondering how to keep it together even when we are apart. Candice, how can we find you, girl?
So you guys, if you want to know more about the KHAOS Mindset, our website is www.khaosinc.org. We are also on Instagram and Twitter at KHAOS Mindset, KHAOS MINDSET. And if you're interested in therapy, we also have a sister company, which is A&A Inspirations, and we are taking clients. And you can reach us at www.aainspirations.com.
Yay! Thank you again, Candice. It's been an absolute delight. Enjoy the rest of your evening, darling. And I'll see you next week.
Yes, ma'am. You have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.